Hello, fellow Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Oh, I didn't know I was recording. I'm sorry I'm not Paul Harvey. I promise. There's no one like Paul Harvey. There's only one Paul Harvey, and he's gone. He was a genius. He was a legend on the radio. Anyway, instead what you've got is a Sunday video update, and you've got Jared Fuller, for Sunday, September 20th, 2020. So glad you could join me for another installment of the Sunday video update. Dad and Amy are gone, so I'm flying solo this week. They're going to be gone for probably the next 5 or 6 days, I would assume. They're going to be in a while so at Amy's adopted parents, taking care of her. And so that leaves me to the house all to myself, which is fine by me. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I'm going to talk about my week in review here in a minute, and it actually involves an email from someone who I thought for a long time was my friend, and instead stabbed me in the back. They betrayed me, and I'm going to get to that email here in just a minute. So what I will do is I will open my email, if I can get to it, put my extra set of eyeballs on. I will access my email, which, by the way, you are free to email me with any questions or comments regarding my videos, or if you have any questions or comments in general, email me. Because I will either treat you nicely if you're nice to me, or I'll just chew you up and spit you out like I did this person. So, no emails in my inbox, so that's nothing new. Just waiting for this thing to load. It takes a couple minutes. Nope, 0 messages. So, let me find that email here. So it was a friend, or someone who I thought was a friend of mine. She and her daughter are in favor of the scumbag we all know as Mike Tyson. So, she ended up blocking me, and I had her email address, and I was just, I lost my temper. Because we had been friends for all that time, and they defend a predator, and I said, seems you and such enjoy kissing and crawling up the ass of that maggot predator Mike Tyson just because you're trying to get something from him. Maybe perhaps you'd like to listen to this. And it was a sound clip I had sent of Mike Tyson, the evidence that I had presented in my video called Beware of Fam Fighting All Monsters. I emailed her the sound clip of that. And I told her, I said, you can keep your maggot predator friends. I don't associate with people who defend creeps. And I don't. If you're going to defend and negotiate with predators like that, just kindly walk the fuck out of my life. Well, she responded to that email, this person. She says, hold the FK up. I kind of know what FK means, but hold the FK up. Don't you even think about coming at me sideways. Too late. I already did. I already thought about it, and I did. What are you going to do about it? First of all, I don't kiss anyone's ass, never have, never will. The evidence kind of shows otherwise. I don't have shit to do with Mike Tyson. That's a lie, because you and your daughter are constantly sucking up to him because he's giving away money and giving away this, giving away that. Although I do have a couple friends from fam. Okay, well, I'm not going to guilt you about that. Those are your friends. They can be friends with whoever they want. If they choose to be friends with a disgusting pig, that's their prerogative. I do not and have not and will not ask anyone for a damn thing. That's another lie. I have taken shit from people for way too long to remain friends with you and to take up for you and defend you. I never asked you to take up for me or to defend me. All I've ever asked for you was to examine the evidence, if there is any, and because there's no evidence and there never has been evidence, you've gone by the fact that there is no evidence, and I'll give you credit for that. So I'll thank you for that, for at least not listening to the bullshit that these people are saying. I'm tired of being harassed. Well, you know, that makes two of us, okay? That makes two of us. Called names, etc. Again, makes two of us. I have removed a lot of people recently and will remove more. So then fucking do it. So then do it. I will do what I have to do for her granddaughter. I'm not going to say her name. She is all that matters to me. Okay, fine. And she should matter to you. I stood up for you and took shit from just about everyone in the childhood cancer community. Well, again, I never asked you to stand up for me, first of all. Second of all, I never asked you to take shit from anybody. And thirdly, it's not a community. So we need to get that out of our fucking vocabulary, that childhood cancer is a community. Because that shit is off the cuff, just straight up, right out fucking bogus. It's not a community. I'm just tired of it and tired of everyone. Do not do this. You do not want to go there. I've already fucking gone there. What are you going to do? I don't know who the fuck you think you are talking to, but I will be damned if you're going to disrespect me. I'm talking to you, motherfucker. That's who I'm talking to. And I will disrespect anybody who disrespects me. And that's it. And if they're doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, they deserve to be disrespected. I'm not saying it's you that's doing shit disrespectful, but you've come at me with an attitude a couple of times. And I had enough. See, that can go both ways here. I've never done anything to you except be nice to you. Wrong. You've come at me with an attitude, as I just pointed out 2 times now. Well, you won't anymore. I guarantee it. And just where the hell do you get that Milk is my hero? Well, how the fuck do I know? Maybe he is. You know, I mean, you guys praise him and defend him and you negotiate with him, just like most people do. I'm not surprised. If you get your head out of your ass long enough, ooh, if I get my head out of my ass, wait a minute. Okay, it's out. You would see that I have him blocked too. Well, how the fuck am I going to know that you had him blocked if he had me blocked? There's no way I'm going to know who you have blocked, or unless you're blocking me, then of course I'm going to know. So you can get your head out of your fucking ass, honey bunch. Along with a lot of other people. Although in all reality, you are not blocked. Yes, I am. You blocked me on social media. I'm blocked. But by sending this email to me and the messages you have sent to my daughter, she sent the message to me first. So let's not even go there. She sent the message to me first. She engaged me first. So don't even try that shit with me. See, you're just as deceptive as the rest of them are. But anyway, you are showing what others have said about you seems to be true, which makes you clearly fucking ignorant. Because if you're just going to believe what people are telling you because I respond negatively to the way people are treating me, so now you're going to pin this as, well, see, you're exactly the way that people are saying you are, Jared, and so it must be true. You are just as stupid and as gullible as the next motherfucker who wants to believe shit that's not true. When someone cuts ties with you, you become very nasty and ugly towards them and start harassing them. Well, this isn't harassment, first of all. And harassment would be if I went to their house, if I got, because, by the way, I've got your address, but that doesn't mean I'm going to come to your house. That doesn't mean I have some ulterior motive up my sleeve. I'm not that kind of a person. But if you're going to treat me like crap, I'm going to defend myself. And I don't become nasty and ugly with people. I want to know why they would believe what they are fucking told. That's it. That's all I want to know. I don't think that's too much to ask, and it's not harassment if you just want to get to the bottom of a situation, like what would possess you to think this way? That's all I've been asking for like the past 7 fucking years. Or actually not even that long, more like 4 years. Well, I will tell you now. Oh, she's going to tell me, do not start with me. And what are you going to fucking do? I've already started with you. And your daughter started with me when she messaged me first. Just leave me alone. like an immature high school girl. Just leave me alone. Fuck off. So that's my little rant and my little fun email for this week. If I can sign out of my email, that'd be terrific. Oh, there we go. So that's that. So I'm dealing with just another person who I thought was my friend. Turns out they weren't. They were foolish. And so this is what happens every time someone treats me like shit and I respond negatively or in a way that doesn't resonate with people. See, I told you, Jared, that Jared Fuller's harsh. He's just, no. By nature, I'm one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet in your life, but if you're going to treat me like crap and I'm supposed to just let it ride, you're sadly and horribly fucking mistaken. Now, what the things that weren't mentioned in the email that I pointed out that she was nasty with me for a couple times, she came at me and first of all, she blocked me, then she unblocked me, came at me in Messenger and accused me of taking screenshots of messages and passing them on to other people. Why the fuck would I do that? What do I get? What would I ever get from that? What would I ever achieve from taking screenshots of our messages in Messenger and passing them on to other people? What would I get from that? It's ignorance and foolishness, and people are just fucking stupid. They don't think. And that person is no better, and that is a clear-cut demonstration of that. So, there you go. But with all ignorance and foolish people aside, I've been going to Bronner's. I've been having bulbs personalized and sent out and shipped out. And I'm going to be sending out a letter to a warrior tomorrow. I don't think I've ever written to that warrior before, but I will introduce myself, explain my story, and kind of get the ball rolling with that. And hopefully they will reach out to me in Messenger. So I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of childhood cancer, I told you last week that tomorrow, the 21st, was a very important day. I'm going to talk about that here for a few minutes. If I can just get my allergies to calm down for a minute. So, tomorrow is September 21st. 31 years ago, tomorrow, my Broviac came out for my chemo. And it was a very thing even then. Usually we're happy that the chemo and the treatment comes to an end, which we were happy. But it was a brutal, what I had gone through was brutal, no question. From beginning all the way through to the end, every bit of it was brutal. There was nothing nice about it. Well, we were at the surgeon's, at the office of the surgeon at Sparrow Hospital in Lansing, and they tried to sedate me because I was only 3 years old at the time. They tried to sedate me, and the sedative wasn't working. And my mom was sitting in the lobby in the waiting room, and they came out and said, "Mrs. Fuller, we've tried to, we've administered sedation, and unfortunately, Jared is not responding to the sedation." And my mom says, "Well, so where does that leave us? What do we do?" And they said, "Because we have other children we have to get to, we have other patients that are behind Jared, we have no choice but to just pull it. And we apologize for this. You're going to hear a scream. It's going to sound awful. And we apologize ahead of time. But we have to do this. We got to get this done. And because he's not responding to the sedative, we have no choice but to just pull it." And when they pulled it, my mother said that I screamed so hard and so loudly. It was a boisterous scream like bloody murder. And you know when babies, when they cry, they kind of have that gurgle when they cry really hard? That was me. I cried so hard, and I screamed so loudly and so hard that I started to gurgle when they pulled it. And when they came out, my mom had her head down, and they sat next to her. The medical staff sat next to my mom, and they kind of rubbed her back. They were trying to, you know, they said, "We're sorry, Mrs. Fuller. He's going to be fine. You know, we had no choice. We had to do it this way." And my mom's like, my baby, you know, there's nothing I can do. And Mom said that I actually was going to pass out in the back seat because I cried and screamed so hard. I'm only 3 years old. I'm just a toddler. But instead, because she thought I was going to pass out in the back seat or in the car seat, but instead, I was half in, half out of it. So I started to kick and scratch and bite my mother. And Mom just looked at me like, what happened to my baby? Where's my Jared? You know, where's my Jared Bear? What's going on with him? You know, this isn't you. What's the matter, baby? What's going on? And Mom said I was just like I was possessed. So tomorrow is a very pivotal moment for me. 31 years since my Broviac was removed and treatment ended. But just because treatment ends, it doesn't mean that that I'm out of the woods. And that goes for anybody who is a child of cancer survivor or just a cancer survivor in general. You are never really and truly out of the woods at any given time. But tomorrow will be a very poignant day for me and perhaps my mom and dad because of that. But I'm glad that I'm out of treatment. Like I said, I've been out of treatment now for 31 years. It's just a very, it's one of those important dates of my battle with Wilms tumor. So that's what's going to be going on tomorrow on Monday the 21st. That's that. So that's what I wanted to wait until this week to talk about it because I mentioned it last week, and so there you have it. But of course, you know, we have to do what we have to do to raise awareness. You know, I haven't been really doing that here on YouTube. I probably should. But there's a lot of people out there who they're really and truly going through a very rough time with their children. And, you know, my heart goes out to them always. Even the person who got into the fight with me in an email, and we're no longer friends, her granddaughter survived a condition called ATRT. She's still in my heart. I still love her to pieces. I still adore her because she's a little fighter, you know. She's a survivor, actually. She survived it. And it's true. I was friends with that person. She's probably watching this. I was friends with her for quite a long time. Even when all the shit was going on with Ronnie Duvall, we became really good friends even then. And they veered away from him because of the shit that he was into, or maybe perhaps still is. I don't know. But now, at long last, you find out a person's true colors, and you come to this conclusion that they think just like everybody else. Well, it just makes it sound true more and more what other people are saying, because you come off nasty. And no, when someone treats me like shit, I have this tendency to, you know, defend myself. And if you're telling me it's wrong to defend myself and let people be nasty and throw their shit at me, you are sadly and sorely fucking mistaken. Because it's not going to happen anymore. I let that shit go on for too long. I held my tongue. Okay, I'll let it go. No, not anymore. Because if I'm nice to somebody and then they want to cut me off because I'm such a bad guy, well, I'd like to know exactly where was I being bad? Where was I being a bad guy? Because I stood up for myself? Well, don't you ever think that maybe your actions were harsh towards me? You know, if someone's being gossiped about, and this is what I never understood, even to this day I don't understand. If I'm being gossiped about, why is it that I'm the one who's being punished if I'm the one being gossiped about? Why don't you go after the people who are talking and spreading shit? Why don't you go after them? Why are you punishing me? I haven't done anything. If they want to say that I'm doing something, the burden of proof is on them. They have to have some kind of evidence to substantiate their claim. And if they don't, fuck them. They're idiots and they're liars. Now, for me to say the F word and, oh, Jared called me a name and you know what? Call me something back. Everybody calls me names. I've been called a lot of names. Sticks and stones, you know what? Piss on them. I don't care. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and not say anything when someone's being scrupulous and taking advantage and engaging in skullduggery and you know, deceiving people into thinking that they're good when in fact they're running scams and they're predators and they're drug addicts and they have no business around children at all. And they have made that known. They've made that evident in some cases. And in other cases, you have to do a little research and kind of dig a little bit to find out the truth of people. I don't have a criminal record. Never have I been in trouble with the law ever in my life. I have had encounters with police officers, sure. But I've never been incarcerated. I've never been put in handcuffs. I've never been detained. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been, excuse me, I've never been in jail or prison. I have a clean record with the law, a clean slate. So if I do get a little bit angry and pissed at people who want to be stupid and act foolish towards me and say shit about me and you expect me to just let it roll off my back, think the fuck again. Because it's not going to happen. I'm not going to sit by and be quiet and not say anything. No. And I will call you out by name if that's what you want. I will embarrass you publicly. I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, enough of that. Enough on that. So, I usually have input from Dad and Amy, but like I said, they're going to be gone for a few days. I've got the house all to myself, which is nice. And I'm going to try to clean the place up a little bit. Oh, excuse me. I got a new computer chair, by the way. That's what you're hearing in the background. Yeah, it needs oiled. Needs a little bit of WD-40. I got some dishes I got to do. Try to get some laundry done. It'll give me some time to just kind of, you know, chill and relax with my thoughts and socialize with friends through text message and Facebook Messenger. It'll just give me some alone time. It'll give me some time to think. But, you know, I have my good days and my bad days just like anybody else. You can't, you know, it's really unfair for people to say that I'm a bad guy because I react or respond negatively or I come off as harsh. If someone's going to be stupid and say shit about me, yeah, I'm going to be harsh with them. And like I said, I will publicly fucking humiliate you and I'll call you out by name. Simple as that. But I can also be a gentleman and I can choose to not do that, although some people really and truly deserve to be called out by name. I'm just not one to fuck with. I'm not one that you want to push my buttons because I have a very bad temper too. And some people have had to find that out the hard way. But there are hypocrites in this world. There are people who it's okay for them to be shitty to you, but when you react to defend yourself, you can't do that. That makes you a bad guy. Fuck you. I will defend myself, and I'm not going to sit and take shit from people. That's not how that's going to work. Even if I end up with no friends, even if I truly end up alone without any friends, it'll be worth it. Because I speak the truth and I defend myself. So, yeah, whatever. Whatever. I don't mind being alone. It's actually liberating. It's relaxing. I don't have to worry about people as much. I love my friends. I love the fact that I have friends from all over the world. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be treated like I've done something wrong when I haven't. And then when I defend myself, see, I told you he was a bad guy. That's fucking horseshit. That's horseshit. After a while, because like I said, I've held my tongue for the past 4 years. After a while, I get sick of holding my tongue. Nobody should have to put up with assholes and dishonest people like the person whose email I just read. Nobody has to put up with that. So, mind you, that's the same person who was raised to ride out the storm of a hurricane. Fucking ignorant. Ignorance is a virtue in America, unfortunately. I don't know why, but it is, and it's frustrating and aggravating, and you're not always going to be so lucky. You think you can get lucky maybe once, twice, 10 times, but, your luck is going to run out sooner or later. But anyway, I went to Bronner's here a couple of times last week, and I got some Christmas bulbs for some friends out of state. I'm gonna have some bulbs made up again next month, probably all the way up through December if I've got the money, if I can get over to Frankenmuth, over to Bronner's, and find out. Work out my bills and see how much I'll have to play with, and I'll continue to have some Christmas ornaments made for the Warriors. But in the meantime, what I have to do today, like I said, I'll probably try to clean the house a little bit. I'm gonna do the dishes. I've got some laundry to do. I'm gonna be a busy guy today, but. Other than my allergies because of the change of the weather, it got cold last night and it's supposed to be in the 80s again this week. The temperature swings have been just all over the place, and that's why it fucks with my sinuses, with my allergies. And so I don't have COVID, by the way. But if I went to the hospital to get treated for sinusitis, they're going to say it's COVID. It's not COVID. It's the weather changing. And I have a pesky fly who won't leave me the fuck alone. But, yeah, it's starting to get cold. The leaves are already starting to turn color here in Michigan. I went to Saginaw last week with my dad because he had a doctor appointment, and we were going up M13. Sheridan Road. I'm sorry, Sheridan Road, where it cuts off from M13. And the closer you get to Saginaw, say like over by the Flint River, the trees were just like someone had taken a big bucket of paint and threw paint on the trees. It was beautiful. It was just the most beautiful thing ever. And this is only, late September. We have October and November yet, but usually by November we start getting the snow, and it gets really brutally cold, which I'm also not looking forward to. But that's Michigan for you. We go through those temperature swings like bipolar disorder. But it's beautiful to look at. I enjoy looking at the fall foliage, and wow, I try to get pictures. I try to get as many pictures as I can, and I like to show my friends, like, yeah, my friends out of state, yeah, this is the color of the leaves, here in Michigan. It's beautiful over here. And they're mesmerized by it. It's like, wow, that is beautiful, And yeah, it's beautiful, and we're just getting started. I mean, like I said, we've got October yet, and that's usually the peak of the fall foliage is October. Excuse me. So there's a lot kind of going on, not a whole lot, but there's just a little bit going on. I was out at Billy's last week. Billy's Pine Run in Clio. Tonight is the Sunday Flashback on 98 WKCQ, which is a country music station based in Saginaw. Tomorrow night, they will probably be there for the Monday Flashback. I might go out there if I got the money, and if I got the gas to make it out there and back. Other than that, I'm just kind of hanging out here. I'm really not doing anything. I'm kind of sheltering in place, so to speak. Although the COVID cases, we've had some new COVID cases come out. Every positive case matters. Every time they say, the number of COVID cases has gone up here in mid-Michigan. Okay, I got to take that into consideration. I take it very seriously. But in other states, it is far more severe than here in Michigan. And, with all they got hurricanes down south, they're just getting nailed with hurricanes one after the other. The wildfires out in California, awful. And the smoke from those wildfires is expected to billow over this way towards Michigan, so we're probably going to have more hazy, smoky sunsets, because I enjoy viewing the sunset as well. And so, there's that. You kind of got to deal with that. But I really hope everyone out in California, if you are someone who watches from California, whether you're my friend or my enemy, I still wish you the best, and I hope you're staying safe in the wildfires, because it's a travesty. It's really sad. And I don't like to see people suffer, even if they're jerks, even if they're assholes. Some people I wouldn't mind if they suffered because of the shit that they put other people through, including myself. But at the end of the day, they're still people, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to anybody. But, the thing they call, most people believe in karma. I really don't believe in karma. That's like a cosmic justice system that I just, whatever, I don't really buy into that. But what goes around comes around, I guess, which would be karma. But I don't really believe in karma. But anyway, I'm just sitting here rambling. I don't really know what else to say. I need to start writing some of these things down. I keep reminding myself every week, or at least I keep coming on here saying every week I need to write these things down, the things I need to talk about. And I keep forgetting. There was a major news event this past week. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away at the age of 87. She was a remarkable woman. I'm not a political person, but I knew of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I knew that the work that she did, what she stood for. And although there are people who don't agree with everything she had to say and do, I think her heart was in the right place. She wanted equality. She was about freedom and equality and making things balanced and fair for everybody. She was appointed by Bill Clinton back in 1993, and she's been in the Supreme Court for nearly 30 years, 27 years. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg had pancreatic cancer. She passed away at the age of 87, and my thoughts and my condolences go out to her family and to everyone in Washington, D.C., which I don't think anybody in Washington, D.C. watches my videos, which is, I don't know the demographic. I don't know the people who watch my videos or don't. There's probably very few who watch my videos and many more who don't, which is fine. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one of a kind, and we as a country had taken a big, big hit when she passed away. And it's election season, which only adds salt to the wound that she would pass away prior to there's an election coming up on November 3rd. It's Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Of course, Trump is Republican, Joe Biden is Democrat. Speaking of voting, and that, I guess I can talk about that for a minute. I haven't voted in 16 years, okay? I am registered to vote in Saginaw County, Michigan. I registered back in 2004 when I turned 18. I voted one time in my life, and within the past 16 years, I've only voted once. My reasons for not voting used to be, it doesn't matter who they get in or who I vote for because they're going to put in there who they want to put in there. And that's what I hear, that's what I hear most from people is, it doesn't matter who I vote for because they're going to put in there who they want anyway. I don't know how accurate that is. My reasoning for not voting, or for, I guess why I haven't voted in the past 16 years, is because it's playing with people's lives. It's playing with people's fate. If I vote for someone who is elected, and they get in there and fuck everything up, which that's bound to happen at some point. No president is ever going to meet the demands of the billions of people in the United States. You're not going to please everybody all of the time. You're not going to. But if I vote for someone and they get in there and they fuck everything up and make this country worse off than what it is, and it could very well possibly get us worse or become more worse than it is now, well, that responsibility kind of falls back on my shoulders. Suddenly that becomes my baby because I voted for them. I don't follow politics close enough to really know what the issues are. I do know that we are in the middle of a pandemic. I know that there's wildfires and hurricanes, and it's the world is a great big fucking mess right now. I don't know who to vote for. I never know who to vote for because if I cast my ballot for someone who's going to get in there and screw everything up, well, that's kind of that's partially my fault. That's partially my responsibility as a voter. It's like I voted for an asshole. I voted for an incompetent moron who's going to get in there and fuck everything up. So, and again, because I don't follow politics closely enough, I kind of withdraw. I shy away. I hold back from voting because, again, like I said, it's someone else's fate. And it is my life too, absolutely. But it's someone else's life that I'm affecting by voting for a particular candidate. I don't want to ruin anybody's life. I don't want to make anybody's life more difficult than what it is now. I just don't want that on my conscience, which is, I guess, is the reason why I refrain from going to the voting booth. However, for this election, I think an exception might be made. It will be the first time in 16 years that I voted. I'm thinking maybe perhaps I might vote this year for this election. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, though. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to vote. And even if I do, whether I do vote or don't vote, it's really nobody's business anyway. But just to put that out there, I haven't voted in 16 years because of, well, my reasons have changed. Initially, it was because I used to think, well, they just put in there who they want anyway, regardless of who I vote for. I don't know how accurate that is. And I don't want to put out any, inaccurate information. But politics, voting is participatory, that is, it hinges on our system, and it relies on the voice of the people. And then again, on second thought, by not voting, you also vote because, like, say for example, let's say for example, I'm not Republican or Democrat anyway. I'm neither. I don't associate with politics in any way whatsoever. But let's say, for example, that I did. Let's say that I was going to vote for Trump. Or let's say I like Trump, but I didn't vote for Trump. Or I don't vote at all. Now, Trump being the current president, let's say he gets reelected, and not saying he will, but let's say, for example, he gets in there and he makes things worse. Now, we would never know what Biden would have done because he didn't get the votes. He didn't get enough votes. He wasn't elected. However, by not voting, it makes the other person's vote that much more stronger. For example, if two other friends and I went to McDonald's, or we decided on lunch, and 2 out of the 3 said they wanted McDonald's, and the one person says, I don't care. Okay, so then we go to McDonald's. However, if you vote, if one person out of the 3 says they want McDonald's, and the 2 other people don't care, one other person could say, I want Burger King. So now it depends on that third person. Is it going to be McDonald's or Burger King? Well, what if they say KFC? Then what? So it's, by not saying anything, you're also making a vote. So I guess I have voted in 16 years. I voted every year for the past 16 years. But if you vote for McDonald's and say, okay, well, 2 people want McDonald's and 1 person wants Burger King, well, Burger King might be more dangerous. Not saying anything bad about Burger King, just as an example, just as a hypothetical. Burger King might be more unhealthier than McDonald's, but 2 people voted McDonald's. So you're going to McDonald's. You know, it's kind of like that. It's actually the same thing as that, because you only get 2 choices, and then KFC being the independent. But you kind of get what I'm saying. But anyway, now I'm talking food. Now I'm kind of hungry. So there's that going on. I think like most of my family doesn't vote. My dad doesn't vote. My mom doesn't vote. My brothers don't vote at all. My uncles and my cousins don't vote. My grandpa doesn't even vote, I don't think. I'm not sure if he votes or not. He might vote. I don't get involved with politics. Because the last time, and it was the first time, I registered to vote in 2004, like I said, when I was 18. And we were voting for a governor. I think at the time it was Jennifer Granholm in 2004. I remember the ballot being like this long, and it used to be like you could be Republican on this issue and Democrat on this. You could cross vote. But now I think you have to vote straight across Democrat or straight across Republican. So I don't know how they do it. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen a ballot in, again, like I said, 16 years. It's been a long time. But maybe I should get to the voting booth. Maybe I should. I don't know yet. You might see me with a sticker on my shirt or on my forehead that says I voted. Who knows? You know, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like you got to pick the lesser of the 2 evils, as they say. I just assume not pick any. Because in hindsight, it's like, well, who do you vote for? And there are people who think, well, you know what? When there's a viable candidate who's worthy of my vote, then I will go to a voting booth. But in the meantime, I just stay away. You know, I stay home, I drink beer, which beer kind of sounds good too. Oh, no, a cold beer. But anyway, guys, I've been ranting and kind of rambling here because I don't know what else to talk about. I've been here for over 45 minutes. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month continues on. We talk about treatment. We talk about the disease. We talk about why it's important to raise awareness, why our federal government needs to get on the ball with research and funding, and we need to make some major incremental changes. But the reason I back out of advocacy, because I don't consider myself an advocate, I haven't for the longest time. I don't consider myself an advocate because I see how advocates and activists behave on social media. They want it all for themselves. They can throw buzzwords to the wall like community because they know it's going to resonate. They know it's going to stick to the wall because it's a very calculated way of viewing things, because it gives people a wholesome feeling that they belong somewhere. Well, I didn't want to be sick in the first place, and my parents didn't want me to be sick in the first place. So I don't want to belong anywhere. But statistically, I do, because I'm a survivor. I don't call myself an advocate because of the behaviors of other advocates and activists. They want it all for themselves, and they think they get it in this head. There's this delusion. They have this fetish on childhood cancer advocacy, that they want to be the kingpin. They want to be the person who makes the wheels spin. They want to be the person who gets the ball rolling. They want to be the person responsible for a cure, for laws being signed, for bills being signed into law. They want to be responsible for all these incremental changes. It's about, they want to be the people to do this. They're looking for a place to be treated with star treatment. They're looking for a place to be celebratory. That's what that is. I'm not at all interested in being the person to make something happen. I'm more interested in sharing my story and reaching out directly to the people who are hurting and saying, I understand what your children are going through. I've been through it myself. You know, let's connect. Let's talk about this. There's a lot of people who just don't want that because, I don't know, they're broken, and I get that. But, you know, you cannot believe everything you fucking hear and see on Facebook or social media in general. You can't fucking believe that. That's why I provide my email address in the About tab section of my YouTube channel here, because I want for people to ask me questions. You know, I want for honest inquiry. Well, why are all these people saying this? Or why are these people saying this about you if it's not true? Or why, you know, why would they ever say this? Or any question you want to ask me. Why is the sky blue? What's your favorite color? Ask me anything. I'll answer your questions. But I want for people to come to the source, or ask me, I want for people to get my side of the story. They've went to a source, which is an incorrect source, by the way. That's why on Facebook you see this, there's this page called Exposing Fake Cancer Pages. And what it is, it's people who are just vindictive and nasty and rotten, and they have no life, that they have to call out the atrocities of other people. That's not what I do. That's opposite of what I do. Now, make no mistake, if there's someone out there doing shit they shouldn't be doing, like Milk Tyson, like Ronnie Duvall, I'm going to call it out publicly, and I'm going to call them out publicly. Yes, but overall, generally, what I like to see is people communicate. I want to make friends with people. I want to get to know these people. I want to share my story. I want to share my thoughts and opinions on things, but I don't go for opinions. I'm more of a factual kind of a guy. And the fact of the matter is that since day one, when I started to become known and become vocal about my own cancer battle, it was cool in the beginning. I got along with everybody. But when the shit hit the fan between me and Ronnie Duvall, then it kind of went downhill after that. And then it just snowballed worse. Oh, Jared's writing sex poems for kids. I've never written a sex poem for a kid. Give me a break. I don't write poems like that for children. I had a girlfriend, and she was a Wilms tumor survivor. She actually ended up passing away back in February. And, you know, I wrote poems for her. They were love poems. Yeah, she was 36 years old. She was an adult. We're both adults, and if I want to write love poems to my girl, I'm going to write love poems to my girl. It's nobody else's business. But I don't write intimate poems to children. That's been the rumor that flies around, and that's not the case. I don't write poems like that for children. But I have written poems for children, just not dirty poems for, it's like beating a dead horse. But I just wish people would have treated me a lot better and a lot differently, because, well, you can disagree with me on a lot of things. Like Nikki Scott, she got mad because I uploaded a poem video to my channel here. She says, well, you didn't have my permission. Well, you approved of it. So if you approve of it, then I'm going to upload it to my channel. And she got into a spat over that. And because her son's name is Gabriel, and he's a child of cancer survivor. And Nikki Scott is the name of the mom. She wanted to, she decided to throw a bitch fit, and she was commenting on my videos, on a lot of my videos, and then I just said, fuck off. I haven't done anything wrong. But if I am doing something wrong, I want to know. And you could be nice about it and say, well, you kind of did this wrong, or you kind of said that wrong. That's why I have my email address. Reach out to me via email. Just let me know what I did wrong or what I'm saying or doing wrong, and then I will strive to correct it. I'm only trying to be a good person. I'm trying to better myself. And I want to be the best person I can be for everybody around me. And that's the objection. That's the objective. That I need to I'm trying to be a good person to everybody. And I am a good person. But there's the Nikki Scotts in the world who make it difficult for me because they shoot off at the mouth. And then you've got, what's her name? Sarah Hancock, Damien's mom. Little Damien passed away. Sarah Hancock was giving me shit for any number of years. Of course, they're Ronnie Duvall ass kissers. And then I've got the flock of morons dealing with and defending Milk Tyson. So I got to deal with those nitwits. I've always been on their side since day one, since the beginning. I've always been on their side, but obviously, apparently, they think I'm this bad guy because, I don't know, I write poetry, because I show my friends or tell my friends that they are loved and appreciated. I don't know how that ever became an issue. It's amazing to me that I live in a country where we cry and bellyache about the hatred of the world, but yet when someone tries to show a little bit of love and affection, it makes them squirm, like, oh, that just doesn't feel good. So you would rather me be hateful? I mean, you can't have it both ways. I'm not a hateful person. I don't have hatred in my heart. Disbelief? Yeah. Discontent? Yeah. Because I expected people to be better than what they are. Maybe my standards are too high. But I think there's nothing wrong with being a good person and trying to do what I feel in my heart is the right thing to do. I've always tried to be a good person. I've always tried to do the right thing. And there's just people out there who cannot appreciate that. And They can't see the forest for the trees, obviously, as I had read that email. And the ignorance is just overspreading. It's out of control. It runs rampant. And there are just a lot of people that I miss. There's a lot of people I used to talk to. Like I went to Columbus, Ohio, for Deanie Bandavanis, and I talked to his mom. I talked to Ashley and her husband Dean, and I went to Deanie's birthday party. It was awesome. It was a great day. And there were people there who I guess they knew about me, according to Facebook, because obviously when you're on Facebook, see, we know all about Jared because we heard about him on Facebook, so we know all there is to know about him, which makes you fucking stupid, makes you ignorant. Right at the pass, it just makes you stupid. Because there's so much more to a person than just Facebook, and you're looking at a person's life through a keyhole, You're just looking at a person's life through a little hole, which is Facebook. Why don't you get to know a person, the entirety of an individual? Why don't you get to know them as people? But anyway, I went to Deanie's birthday party, and it was memorable. This was like a couple years ago, and I loved him. I loved little Deanie, and he passed away. And I went to the funeral home there in Pickerington, where he was from, and I walked up to his casket. It was neon green. No. Am I mistaken that for Buddy Boy? I'm not sure. I don't even remember now. I think his casket was green. But I remember walking up to Deanie's casket, and my stomach just kind of twisted into a knot. It's like, this is a baby. This is a child. This kid didn't deserve this. And the same with Buddy Boy. I went to his funeral, and I know where he's buried at, and on occasion I go to his grave and I talk to him, and my heart, I put my heart into this cause. And people ask me all the time, well, Jared, what have you ever contributed to the childhood cancer world? And I don't know if that's a snide remark. I don't know if it's a snide comment, but I always say, apart from the fact that I have years of volunteer and charity work, let's talk about the blood, sweat, and tears that I sacrificed just to live. I have given myself, my body, to this cause. I have just as much say in anything childhood cancer related as the next person. Well, Jared, because your story's outdated, there's no such thing as an outdated story. That doesn't exist. My story is withstanding until the end of fucking time. It doesn't matter if I was in treatment 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It just doesn't fucking matter. A story is a story. And it has its place in history. That's why we preserve history. See, this is something else that people don't... There's a lot of things that I've noticed that people don't understand. Preserving history is one of them. And whether it be world history or history of health, like childhood cancer, for example, my story has its place in history. I keep it relevant because it is relevant by nature, but I keep it relevant to people because they need to know that there's someone out there who genuinely gives a fuck about people. And they genuinely understand the situation. In fact, there was another email. I don't know how I could have forgotten this. And this is a local warrior, by the way. I'm going to piss a lot of people off this week, but you know what? So be it. They pissed me off. There's just a lot of ungrateful people in this world. And I don't mind calling it out. The whole world has gone ungrateful. Well, there are different times we're living in, and people are so high-strung. And you know what? That's not my fucking problem. I'm a good person. I treat people with dignity and respect. And I treat people the way that I hope to be treated. I hope I get that returned to me in some way. I'm not here to bullshit or play games. Let's see here. It was a local warrior who is battling leukemia. That was a not so nice exchange. They said, "Well, how did you get my email address?" Well, you posted it on the kid's page. If you listen, much in the same way that I put my email address on my YouTube channel, I can't then whine and complain and bellyache because, oh, well, how did you email me? I don't want you emailing me like a little fucking baby. Please stop whining. If someone emails me according to the email address I provide on my YouTube channel, I'm not going to sit here and whine about it. It's there for a fucking reason. That's why, because I want for people to contact me privately if they have something they would like to address. Or I have Messenger. But don't be a fucking pansy ass and whine because, oh, I don't want you email me. How did you get my email address? It's a thing called public. You put it out there for the public to get. The information is public. There's no expectation of privacy in public. You people don't get that either. But, yeah, someone actually threw a bitch fit because I don't know who the hell, I don't know you or how the hell you got my email, but it's plain out fucking creepy. Don't message me again. And I said, hey, genius, you posted it on Asher's page. How else would I have gotten it? Idiot. And that's what they are. Idiots. You posted it on the kid's page. So, wow. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow. Because people are so fucking obnoxiously stupid. They don't... Yeah, talk about pulling my head out of my ass. Well, my head is out of my ass. It's the fact that people like you and many others like you don't have logic. You don't have common sense. You don't have brains. Or something's not right up here. But anyway, I've been here for over an hour. It's time to wrap this thing up. I got other things I got to do today. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to me kind of rant and talk a little bit about things. Again, like I said, September's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm here because I talk about my personal experiences. I engage in awareness somewhat here and there on my own volition because I speak from experience. I don't have to talk about it. But it's a choice I make. But I do it because I actually genuinely give a fuck about people. But when people are going to come at me rotten and stupid, I tend to fight back. But that doesn't make me a bad person. It just means I defend myself. I don't know, guys. All I can do is my best. That's the only thing I can do. And there are people out there who, like I said, they think they are at the top of the heap. They think they are God's gift to the world, and they think the world revolves around them, and I think they know who they are. Whether it be Ronnie Duvall, Mike Tyson, or, yes, Tom Mitchell, you know. They think the world revolves around them, and they think that they are untouchable and just so profoundly amazing. You know, they're not the only ones out there doing stuff. But Mike Tyson and Ronnie Duvall, by default, should not even have anything to do with childhood cancer because they've never had to live our life. They speak so profoundly and so diligently about a life they've never had to live, which is not only disgusting, but it's a bit frightening in some regard because it's always going to come back to, why are you here? What are you trying to get from this? What are you trying to accomplish? You're just trying to make a name for yourself by using sick kids? That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. And I will be here next week Dad and Amy will probably join me next week. They'll probably be back home by then, and we will go from there, and I'll get some input from them on the side. So that's about it for this week, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Sunday Video Update. I will be here next week on September 27th. So that's about it for now. Much love and peace, guys. Take care. Have a good week.